Hello and welcome to the SAP Product Inspiration series, where we dive into latest product innovations from SAP. My name is Sven and today I will be joined by Wendy, our product manager for Open Payment Framework in SAP Commerce Cloud. As we deep dive into it, could you, Wendy, please help us understand why there was a need for this innovation? What prompted SAP to invest in developing the Open Payment Framework?
As more consumers embrace digital payments, it's clear that retailers need to be agile in responding to changing payment needs. We saw an increasing demand for retailers to expand payment options quickly and conveniently. This demand led to the creation of the Open Payment Framework that offers a plug-and-play framework to ease integration complexity and provide composable solutions to retail customers.
That's really fascinating, Wendy. Could you please detail the specific scenarios that this solution offers?
Of course, the Open Payment Framework is a service included in the SAP Commerce Cloud subscription. It allows merchants to integrate their preferred digital payment service providers faster than before, removing the need to code, integrate, and deploy extensions to the Commerce Cloud codebase. The Open Payment Framework is aiming to support any payment service providers. Retailers can now cherry-pick payment partners based on their unique requirements across various markets. An example use case could be a jewelry retailer wanting to expand payment options to include buy now, pay later. With the Open Payment Framework, the new payment method can be added quickly while meeting security requirements, creating a smooth end-to-end payment experience for customers.
Sounds truly revolutionary. And now on to the question our viewers eagerly await each episode. How can customers adopt this new solution within their businesses? Is there a prerequisite in terms of their existing SAP Commerce Cloud solution?
Our Open Payment Framework has been designed to be user-friendly with a no-code, low-code interface, and is available for all SAP Commerce Cloud customers. You can configure and export the payment service provider settings with just a few scripting code and clicks. Our system allows payment authorization, capture, refund, cancellation, and more. Example integration templates for more than 20 payment service providers are already available for accelerating the payment integration. For specific technical requirements, our customer service agents are ready to assist with seamless adoption. Currently, we offer early adopter care program and invite interested SAP customers to join. It's planned to be generally available to all our customers in the second half of 2025. But now, let's jump into a demo to see the OPF in its full details. Enjoy, and thanks a lot. Now let's go to a sample storefront that enables OPF. On this product detail page, it shows the payment messaging from Klarna. The integration with Klarna is actually managed in OPF, where it controls the payment messaging to be shown on the PDP page. Add this product to the cart and view the cart. Besides the payment messaging showing at the top, you can also see the Quick Buy buttons from Google Pay and Apple Pay, where end customers can quickly check out. In this case, we just proceed to the checkout. Continue, and choose the default delivery options. And here you can see at this last step of payment and review, there are a lot of payment options available for the end customers to check out. It can enable multiple payment options on the same checkout. It supports not only credit card payments, but also different types of alternative payment methods like PayPal, Alipay. It also supports buy now, pay later payment option like Afterpay. All these payment options are configured and managed through OPF. So OPF is essentially about collecting payments from customers, integrating payment messaging, providing quick buy options into the checkout process. It extends existing Commerce Cloud capabilities by embedding payment functionalities into more elements of the customer journey. Now let's go to the OPF workbench to understand how OPF could help merchants use a low-code, no-code approach to build integration to any third-party payment service providers faster and with less cost. This is the development environment of OPF. It's where the payment integrator makes the payment configuration of different providers, such as the payment gateway Adyen, Checkout.com, and WorldPay. The payment integrations are grouped by the payment provider name. You can simply assign or unassign a payment gateway from a site to enable or disable the payment option for a storefront. For example, if the merchants decide to disable the Klarna payment option for the electronic storefront, he can simply open the payment integration, edit the changes, remove the site assignment, and save the changes. When the end consumer is logged into the electronic storefront, they will not be able to check out through Klarna. Moving on, let's take a look at one payment integration to understand how the payment integration can be done quickly using the OPF low-code UI. Take Adyen for example. Open the payment integration and navigate to the configuration section to show the details. We have studied numerous payment providers and generalized the common patterns and build it up in the solution. Here, you can see all the different possible payment processing steps, such as authorization, capture refund, reauthorization, and authorization reversal. Let's first of all dive into one, like refund. For refund, consumer may return purchased items because of broken or damaged products. When returns happen, refund need to be issued against a previously settled transaction. Using this low-code UI, essentially what you're doing with OPF is to configure the API calls with the payment service providers. Rather than writing Java code and complicated extensions for the refund request and response with the payment service providers, what an integrator would do is to give the OPF the API examples of payment provider, and then generate fields to map from request example. The system automatically generates all the required fields from Adyen to be mapped with the canonical payment per modeling. And after that, integrator does a value mapping between the gateway field and the Commerce Cloud feed one by one. Map the response from the gateway to Commerce Cloud in a similar way. Next, let's look at authorization. Authorization is by far the most complicated part because authorization also involves collecting payment data from the customer, so that there are some UX elements in it. It involves integrating third-party JavaScript from the payment provider. So for example, Adyen provides a JavaScript library that enables you to render that form. It only supports PCI compliant forms of payment entry. There is hosted page, payment UX pattern that the end customer is redirected to a payment page that is hosted by PSP. There is iframe UX pattern that payment form is embedded in the checkout page and you have less control about it. An example of Lightbox iframe would be PayPal on desktop. There is also hosted fields or drop-in UX patterns, for which the payment form is generated by payment provider's JS library, and merchants has more flexibility to control every single element of that form and how it's rendered. This payment integration is using hosted field payment form. I quickly jump back to the storefront to check the payment form. This is the credit card payment supported by Adyen. It's actually the hosted field payment form that is controlled by OPF. Let's now check out the order from the storefront using credit card payment. The order is successfully placed. Note down the order ID. Going back to the OPF workbench and navigate to Transaction View. It provides a unified view of the payments transactions from different payment service providers, all in the same format. No matter from Adyen, Stripe, or any other payment service providers, by searching the order ID that has just been placed, it lists out all the related payment transactions of the order. This gives merchant control and visibility on all the transactions that OPF is handling. It's also possible to manually retry a failed request. Take refund, for example. If the refund was not automatically processed, this gives merchants the possibility to quickly fix the customer's payment issue. There could be also cases that the customer is refunded through another mechanism. In order for Commerce Cloud to be updated that the refund has actually gone through, what you can do is go to OPF, find the failed transaction, and manually mark the status of this transaction as accepted. Give a reason and provide perhaps an additional PSP reference to explain you know what the refund is reconciling, so that the OPF is updated that the refund has been processed. For a customer service agent role, we also provide tooling to issue ad hoc refunds for already settled transactions. This authorization has been fully settled. You can click on this authorization transaction and click the refund button to refund the customer. Of course, the value provided here cannot exceed the total captured amount. Jump to the request log. The issue it tries to address here is that for different PSPs, everything is logged differently and make it hard to support. But with the request log, merchant can trace and diagnose all the requests between the front end and OPF, payment provider and OPF about any order and any transaction types in the similar structure. This becomes extremely beneficial when you start having several providers and you can basically track all the logs in one place
including finding failed requests that have happened, and irrespective of what provider you're integrating. You can basically analyze all the logs in a unified way. Navigate to the notification log. It helps track all the incoming messages from payment service providers to OPF. When you are building an integration and maintaining integration, it's important to understand what notifications you didn't receive. All of these are helping to ensure operational efficiency. To build an integration, merchant can build it from scratch using the OPF low-code UI or download the integration templates. This is where the merchant can actually download more than 20 PSPs integration templates and import to their own environment, fine-tune, and make it live. Let's now go back to OPF Workbench. Still take Adyen for example. Here you can see these integrations can be exported so that they can be reused across other tenants, and they can also be imported into downstream environments as well. So for example, a developer may have built this integration from scratch or using the integration templates. After the integration is done and fully tested, he can publish this payment integration so that it's available to be imported in downstream environments like staging. Let's go to the stage environment. In this staging environment, there is no payment integration yet. Click the Add button. All you can do is import the published payment integration from development environment. In this staging environment, you're not able to make mapping changes. You can only view all the mappings. This is to avoid that random API mappings to random so-called gateway APIs. All you can do is to configure variables and change credentials. You will also go through 4i review approval process to make sure the payment integration is securely pushed to production. This is one of our mechanisms for ensuring that we have this fully compliant. In summary, OPF centralized payment integration, logging, and management while ensuring compliance, flexibility, and scalability. Thank you for watching the demo.